York Yankees, the power of money. The New York Yankees were founded in 1903. They were formerly known as the Highlanders. They play at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. They're the most iconic baseball team of all time, with their 27 World Series championships. They have had some great players over the years, and they have 22 who are in the Hall of Fame now. One of the star players for the Boston Red Sox was Babe Ruth. He had lots of home runs, everyone knew about him, and he was the best player in Major League Baseball at this time, by far. On January 5th, 1920, the New York Yankees announced the purchase of Babe Ruth for the amount of $125,000. This was the biggest contract that has ever been signed in Major League Baseball at this time. The Yankees, throughout their history, as we will see in this video, are trendsetters, and this is definitely the first trend that they set by buying players for especially this much money. It was unheard of at the time. The Yankees were owned by CBS at this time, and they were later acquired by George Steinbrenner on January 3rd in 1973. He led a group of investors and bought the team for $10 million. Now, George Steinbrenner was not just any old owner. He was known as a hands-on baseball executive, and he earned the nickname The Boss. He had a tendency to meddle in daily on-the-field decisions, and he would hire and fire and sometimes rehire managers all the time, making New York very unpredictable and in the headlines many of the times. Now, George Steinbrenner tried to make the Yankees stand out and seem more prestigious. One thing that he enforced was his facial hair policy. It had to be a military-style grooming code. All players, coaches, and executives were forbidden to display any facial hair other than mustaches. Additionally, the back of their hair had to be above the collar. It could not be below the collar. For example, long sideburns were not allowed. Just a year later, the Yankees decided to renovate their stadium in 1974. The final cost for all these renovations, ending in 1975, was $160 million. On January 1st, 1975, the Yankees signed Jim "Catfish" Hunter to a 5-year, $3.75 million contract coming out of free agency, which was the first free agency in all of baseball history. Moving more into the modern day, on November 15, 2007, the Yankees signed Alex Rodriguez to a 10-year, $275 million contract, which was absolutely unheard of at the time. The Yankees is the third most valuable sports team, according to Forbes, which is worth $3.7 billion. The average MLB team is worth $1.5 billion, so the Yankees are over double what the average Major League Baseball team is worth. One of the keys for the New York Yankees was to become more than just a baseball team, but to become a brand. One of the first things that the Yankees did to really solidify their brand recently is founding the Yes Network. One of the main things that the Yankees did to launch their brand was they started the Yes Network, which stands for the Yankees Entertainment Sports Network. They launched this network on television on March 19, 2002. It was owned by Yankee Nets and Goldman Sachs. This gave the Yankees a lot more exposure, where they had their own branding of a television network. They were one of the first teams to ever do this. In 2014, the Yes Network actually disclosed the amount of families that watch the Yankee games on Yes Network, and that is 223,000 people. In 2009, the new Yankee Stadium was complete. It was built right across the street from the old stadium. This stadium was meant to emulate the old stadium, and this cost $2.3 billion. The new stadium is state-of-the-art. It has many new features, including new restaurants, bars, and also one thing that is interesting about the new Yankee Stadium is there is a museum inside, which not very many stadiums have, which makes it different than other parks, and of course it's the Yankees, so it has to be the best and stand out. Helping build their brand, the Yankees in 2012 rolled out a cologne for men and a perfume for women, partnering up with Macy's. There was a 3.4-ounce bottle and it retailed for $62 at Macy's. This all correlates with building a brand and not necessarily a baseball team, trying to make the New York Yankees logo and team name as popular as they possibly could. In 2007, the Yankees reached an agreement with the Chinese Baseball Association to allow coaches, scouts, and trainers to work in China to promote baseball and judge talent. They are trying to do the same with the Yomiuri Giants and the Yanshin Tigers in Japan. In 2008, the Yankees announced a joint venture with the Dallas Cowboys that would form a basis for the form of a partnership in running food and beverage and other catering services to both team stadiums. The New York Yankees fan base is fantastic. The Yankees in 1920 had their first 1 million fan season, and their first 2 million fan season was in 1946, both of these being record breakers. The Yankees also help revenues for other teams as they usually attract some of their own fans when they go to road games at other team stadiums, which helps revenues for the opposing team with concessions and things of that nature. I think the main point to take out of this video is that the New York Yankees are trendsetters. From Babe Ruth buying the biggest player in history at that time, signing the first free agent for the most amount of money at that time in the 1970s with Catfish Hunter, signing the biggest contract with Alex Rodriguez, building an extremely expensive stadium in 2009, making deals with China, the Dallas Cowboys. The Yankees always seem to be ahead of the curve. The more people that see them, the more people that want to play for them. The better players want to play for them because they are a more prestigious looking brand. This brings in more money, which gives the Yankees the opportunity to spend money on high contracts for these people, and in essence makes more championships for the brand. So this you can give lots of credit to the 27 championships being due to money, with the great minds of people like George Steinbrenner. Money equals power, and in this case, power is winning championships. Thank you.